Hello YouTube, and this is Enneagram Life, and I'm Damien, and it's the 1st of January 2017, so it's a new year. Happy New Year. Hopefully I will put this up today. Anyway, I want to talk about repetitive people, and in particular how type 3's being repetitive. So I did a previous vlog about the type 3's, and the main reason I discussed in that vlog was the main reason why I discussed type 3's can be repetitive more than other types, well, more than most other types, was I talked about how type 3's like to be the center of attention, and therefore they need to talk more compared to most other types. And that's one possible reason, but I think a reason that sort of more hits to the core of a type 3, another reason why they might be repetitive, is because in their interactions with other people, they feel comfortable when they feel they have established an identity for themselves. So they're a type that likes to very much define themselves or label or characterize themselves and others. So they want to establish an identity for themselves and an identity for you in your interaction with them. They want to tell you who you are, and they want to tell you who they are, and they want to maintain this identity, and they want to establish it, which requires repetitiveness. So they have to keep saying who they are. Maybe they keep repeating, I'm a logical man because I'm an engineer. I'm really logical, I was an engineer for 10 years, or something like this. They keep repeating that to establish this identity, because they don't feel comfortable unless they feel they've established themselves as this particular type of a person. And then they want to maintain that, so they will repeat that to establish it and to maintain it. Something like, I'm a great marketer, I'm a great salesman, I've been selling things since I was a kid. I've been selling lemonade since I was 6 years old. Being a salesman's in my blood. This type of thing. They'll keep repeating something like that. Some sort of a summarized, in a nutshell version of themselves that they want you to see them as. And they'll create one for you too, most likely, and tell you that as well. So, because they don't have a very high tolerance for ambiguity in relationships, they want to really define what they are and what you are. And this is often done with repetition, repeating the same statements of the, I am type statements, or you are type statements, he is, she is, they are. Repeating these things to establish this identity. And yeah, doing that sort of behavior definitely is a core of a lot of their repetitiveness of a type 3. In my previous video, the type of repetitiveness, the example I was talking about was a person who I was doing business with, and I was doing a board game English group in his cafe, and he wanted me to not charge for the group until it was established. So I did a video about that, and he kept repetitively telling me not to charge for the group. Now that's not so much defining who he is or who I am. That's more, and they're not identity statements. That's more of a task-orientated statement. And people can repeat task-orientated statements too. I think maybe the shamelessness of the type 3's would encourage them to repeat something like that, because operating with less, being more shameless. They don't feel the concern as much that they are repeating their own wants so often. And type 3s can be quite task orientated. They can be, if they want something to make something happen, they can keep ramming on about it. And so that was more what I was talking about in my previous vlog, that form of repetitive statement. But now I want to talk more about that identity repetitiveness that type 3s can put out there. And I want to talk more about why they would do that. Like I said, because they're so image focused. Type 3s are so image focused, and they want to establish these images of who they are. Now so making those repetitive statements related to that, like I said about I'm a logical man because I'm an engineer. Oh, I'm an engineer. I'm super logical. Making those type of statements again and again are image based. And very closely related to that is just generally looking for recognition. Type 3s are very well known for recognition seeking behavior. And recognition seeking behavior, well, it's similar to establishing an identity. Because if you want recognition from others, which is basically someone telling you you're awesome, right? If you want someone to tell you you're awesome, it's always based in something. Like, you're awesome because you're creative. Or you're awesome, that was so creative of you. Wow, that's awesome. Did you make that? You're so creative. Or you're awesome because you're really smart. Oh, wow, did you write this? It sounds so intelligent. You're a really smart guy. So there's most recognition is based in something. Oh, wow, you're so good with your hands. Did you make this? Wow, that Jim, he's great with his hands. He's so good at making things. He's an awesome craftsman. Recognition is linked very closely with creating identity. And this brings me to a story of a woman that was incredibly repetitive, a type 3, at a conference that I attended.